No hipsters.
No hipsters.
No hipsters pod.
Now you know
Yeah.
how to use the all these. I was like, I have no idea how to join this thing.
You look good though. I see you,
Just a little sunlight.
I see. I like it. The camera's cutting off a little bit, but
Okay, yeah, let's see if I can put it further back.
cool. I like it.
All right. Hello.
All right.
There we go.
All right, cool. Episode 59, No Hipsters Pod. Your boy Ron Say, the founder of NoHipstersALot.com. And this week, our guest is one of my favorites, Nneka Obiekwe. Say what's up.
Hello, all. Excited to be back. We're on video. Okay.
Right. Glad to have you back again. There's a lot to talk about. I actually meant to have you on last month because it was Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but we couldn't quite make it. But I think with everything that's happening, I'm glad we waited a bit because there's a lot to talk about. And I don't think there's a better person to speak on what's happening right now than you. We're just going to get right to the topics. And there is nothing more important right now than the leak from the Supreme Court that revealed that there has been a vote of to overrule Roe v. Wade. 5 out of the 6 conservative justices have voted in favor of overruling Roe v. Wade. And so basically it just looks like a matter of when and no longer a matter of if that law will be overturned. And so, I mean, I think people forget. I think people think it's just like a regular, I think people think it's only an elective procedure, and they don't realize that for a lot of women, this is actually it can be a life-saving procedure. And so and just there's so many other factors surrounding that procedure and what it means for a lot of women and also men, right? Because people think sometimes it's only a woman who's like, I guess, helping herself with the procedure, but there are lots of men whose lives have been impacted by a woman's ability to make that choice.
Right.
And so I really want you to speak about that. First of all, I want to know your thoughts about the impending overruling of Roe v. Wade, but also what this means for the future, what this means for women, and what we should be looking out for. So go for it.
I mean, it's kind of scary times, right? I think in a lot of ways we think we're making progress in different aspects of advocacy, be it for women or for people of color. These are the examples that no matter how educated you are on some of these issues, especially or how empowered you feel as a person impacted by these issues, you have to be at the table making decisions in order to truly enact change. And so I think what we're seeing here is what happens when you have a room full of people who are not directly impacted, who still are in power, and who are still able to make decisions on behalf of, in this case, women, right? This group of old white males who are making such an important decision. That scares me. And that scares me for a lot of reasons. I think the right to choose is much bigger than just the right to choose when it comes to, an abortion or to whether or not you want to carry your pregnancy to full term. But I think it has a lot to do with what we're saying about women's rights and our oversight and control and the policing of our bodies. That is an example of how, misogyny pretty much impacts every aspect of our lives. We're seeing it play out politically. We're in this case also seeing it play out in our healthcare and in our ability to make decisions for our own health. I think it's also concerning given the very high maternal mortality rates. The maternal mortality rates in America are consistent with that of a third world country, which is also very concerning, right? So when you, and then of course, even more so amongst women of color, particularly Black women. So the fact that we haven't addressed some of the primary concerns, such as sexual assault, which we know can sometimes be a reason why someone chooses to get an abortion. We haven't addressed health equity issues, which is what leads to these very astounding rates in maternal mortality. We haven't addressed healthcare, the cost of healthcare, both during pregnancy, the hospital visits, as well as, anything that can happen should that child have any sort of medical issues. But we are determining that we no longer have the right to choose whether or not we feel comfortable carrying out that pregnancy. That is just concerning, right? So as far as what it means for the future, I think
Scream.
it's scary because I think, getting back to what I said at the beginning, what makes that a little bit disheartening for those who have chosen to have a voice, who have chosen to vote, who have chosen to educate themselves on the laws and the policies, who have chosen to be a part of, or in whatever way they can, to be a part of the future of this country. It's disheartening to think that something like that was happening behind closed doors. Something that we know that 60% of the majority population do not want to happen. This decision is still being made without our input. And despite the kind of concerns, implications for it, this could very well be our future. So I think it's disheartening for just our ability to be a part of these decisions moving forward as well.
I can't help but I guess, having a more political reaction where it's like, we warned people in 2016 that the Supreme Court was on the ballot and that this could happen if you don't vote. And I think people were just so consumed by their hatred of Hillary, which I still think is completely irrational. And it's just oftentimes based on nothing. But people just couldn't see the long game, because ultimately this is conservatives playing a very long game. This is years of really strategic appointments, years of Supreme Court justices lying during their hearings in the Senate, because all these people have all said that they thought that Roe v. Wade was a settled matter, and so it just goes to show that they weren't telling the truth. And once again, it just shows that conservatives are generally just better at politics, unfortunately.
Well, it's true. And to your point, our politics in this generation exists on social media, right? We spend a little bit too much time reposting stories, sharing very long opinions in our, whether it's on the story or on our feed, but not being active enough in the actual, political system. Again, not exercising our right to vote, not understanding the kind of long-term implications of our decisions or our inactions. And I think this is a perfect example of that is, Instagram is not going to, stop the train that's already moving.
Right.
And I think, again, that's what makes it feel disheartening for those who have felt that maybe that was their input in some of these major issues. But, to your point, what are those next steps, right, that we can really be thinking about to ensure that we're better empowered to be a part of that long-term political game moving forward? So I think that was a really great point for you.
I listen. I'm actually. Because I kind of saw it coming, and it's funny if I don't know how much news you watch, but at the local level, things have been happening even before Texas had their ridiculous draconian laws this past year. 2-3 years ago, Kansas had already put something in place where it made it impossible for most women to actually access abortion, and many of the abortion clinics actually went out of business because the laws were so restrictive. And I think there was just one abortion clinic left in the entire state, so it was in effect no longer available to women in that state. And I think things like this have been happening for so long, and it's just been chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. And the only thing that's been holding these states back from making the laws and just saying no more is the fact that they knew that there wasn't a conservative majority in the Supreme Court. Now they have that. They have a super majority. They can afford to lose a vote and still have a majority. And so it's really, really sad. And I just hope people are taking the right lessons from this. I'm not really optimistic. The tweets I'm seeing online are very disheartening, where people are just deciding to dig in because they know that they were wrong, and as opposed to just admitting that they made mistakes over the years as far as voting is concerned. They just want to double down. So we'll see how this goes. It's truly unfortunate, truly dark times for civil rights, honestly. So yeah,
We're moving backwards, that's for sure.
for sure.
And, of course, there's the conversation that everyone's been having, the impact to health, right? I mean, people are already going to Mexico and everywhere else to get BBL. So, what's another procedure, right? Like, I think, it the education of making necessary healthcare procedures unavailable um, in a safe and protected way is, that's probably the most concerning thing to me, because the question has to have come up around the impact to patient safety. Where abortions aren't going to end. You can't control the decision that someone makes. The question becomes how, what's the risk to the mother? What's the risk to, the procedure itself? Like, where are they going to be getting it done? Who's going to be doing it? There are opportunists who are going to be doing them out there the way they've been doing all sorts of other, types of procedures. So that's also really concerning, even from a healthcare perspective. Beyond civil rights, I think we're going to see, huge impacts to patient safety. And of course, it's a huge equity issue, right? So just a number of different layers of this that I think, to your point, we're going to see over the next, I don't even know how long, to really see the impact it'll have.
Right, because that's the thing, because Trump appointed 3 justices in 4 years, which is, I mean, I don't know when last that's happened. So we're going to be living with a lot of this for a long time. And what people don't realize is that they're not going to stop at reproductive rights. It's just going to go, it's the next thing. It's, and so I really think people need to pay attention, because I think people think it stops here, but it really doesn't. They have a lot of power, and it's a lifetime appointment to Supreme Court. So it's not like they get voted out in a few years. So it's going to be a bad however many decades, and I hope we're all really ready for what this means. So, I just I'm out of words. But well, let's move on to something more something lighter. We can't do this entire show, but really, I mean, I really do think it's something that everyone needs to think about. I hope everyone watching spends some time thinking about this and what this really means, and really understands that this is not just about women, because I think maybe it's being framed as something that only affects women's lives, but that's not really true. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
But okay, wait, someone asked a question. Can states make decisions on a state level on those decisions to allow or ban? Yes. So what's going to happen is that basically half of the country it looks like will no longer have that available to women in that country. Of course, Texas has made headlines because the biggest state with draconian laws. But California has stepped up to say that they've strengthening their protections of reproductive rights. Pennsylvania has also, the Attorney General was on TV today talking about how that abortion is still available to women in that state. So what's going to happen is that people in different states are going to have different freedoms. Women are going to have to basically travel. So there was an article that talks about this girl who had to, I think, drive across states. So like tens of miles just so she can get an abortion. And so this is before the leak, right? So now we're going to have more of those. So basically that's what's going to happen. Good question. Thanks. Let's talk about the Met Gala. We can't be all serious the entire time. But yes.
Sharp turn.
Yep. That was a really sharp turn. But I'm sure I was on my couch in my sweats judging these people's fashions like I had anything to say. But it's the first actual full show since the pandemic. They had an off-cycle Met Gala last September. In 2020, they didn't have a show at all because it was at the very early stages of the global pandemic. So this is the first time they had the whole first Monday of May ceremony. The theme was gilded age.
Listen, gilded something.
Yes, it was about the gilded era, and I really feel like people took different meanings from that era. I think people thought it to be literally gilded, that they were to be in gold, and other people took it as meaning they should dress the way people did in the gilded era. So there were really different takes on it. I thought it was interesting. So what do you think?
I was like and really I do the really like secondhand version. I look at everyone's reposts and then I judge that. Yeah, definitely some interesting takes on it. It's always fun to watch really the creative aspect of fashion during the Met Gala. And then I always think to myself, like, what pressure people must be under to be so cool this year. And hence how we get the people like Kendall, right, who God knows, I have no idea what she was thinking with that, like, net over her face. Like, there are just some people who just got it very wrong. But then, of course, girl Cardi B, she did her thing with the gold Versace.
Right.
Serious hits and serious misses. And then I'm also hearing about the food. I'm hearing that the food at the Met Gala is trash.
Yes, famously. Keke Palmer exposed them a few years ago. So it's...
So all that, I mean, I guess if you're going to go and you can't eat before you get there, I hear Kim Kardashian lost like 16 pounds in a couple weeks.
I saw.
You've got, so anyway, there are some people who were killing it from my perspective, but overall, as always, it's fun to watch.
Right. And actually, that was actually Kylie with the net, with the white gown and the baseball cap. Yeah.
Yes, Kylie, you're right.
So, all right, top. Give me top 5 if you can think of that many. That your best 5.
So Gabrielle Union, I thought looked phenomenal. Like she was amazing. Who's the one that did like the Statue of Liberty? Was it Statue of Liberty?
Blake Lively.
Yes, I absolutely loved that, and I loved the creativity. I loved that she had like people who were there to like change her outfit. It was just to me. You know what? I enjoyed Lori. Lori, I don't think followed any of the. I don't think she followed the actual theme at all. But as I say, if all else fails, just be fine. And she was. Those abs were popping. She just wanted a reason to show.
She's not always been that muscular, right? Because I was like, damn.
Also, wait, she looks very fit. Her arms are muscular, so she's doing something different. I was here for that. I'll give Cardi. To me, it wasn't necessarily fly. Actually, it really wasn't that fly. It was cute though. It was cute.
Yeah.
But I can't think of every single person's outfit. I'll just put her on there and just let her rock. A fifth. I don't know that I have a fifth. I can't think of who else I was super excited about. So I'll just stick with those 4. And then you said worse.
Oh, wait. Who was your 5th? Oh, you stopping at 4?
Stopping at 4.
Okay. And feel free to give me your worst. I'm interested.
I mean, definitely Kylie. I don't know what was going on. I think it was there was a guy who wore the shorts. It wasn't Travis. I want to say that I don't know who that was. I'm sorry, I can't remember these people's names. But that was a big no for me. Who else just looked Billie Eilish. Also, I just don't like her very much.
Yo, tell me what we're right here. I'm not a fan. I'm starting to like the music. The persona I don't like at all.
Persona. I don't know what it is. It's always rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's not giving authenticity. I saw the little exchange between her and Cardi B after. I don't know if you saw that, about Cardi's very questionable speech at the Playboy after party.
Tonight we're gonna have fun. Make sure you get your drinks. Make sure you have pinarellos. Make sure you have pinarellos. Make sure you have pinarellos.
But I just find her even in a text exchange that one of them posted.
Oh my God, I was so worried you were going to see that. I was fucking calling the people around you weird because everybody was coming up to you and shoving their phones into your ass. And I was like, just look at her with your eye.
The internet's trying to divide us. They don't understand that you're my baby.
She didn't even seem authentic there. I said, you're just fake everywhere. So I don't know.
Thank you. Listen, I love that we can agree on this because I'm always like, this girl, she just, nah.
just not doing it for me.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I mean, she's a favorite among the critics, though. Even though I think she's also kind of like an industry plant. So I think her mom is like in the industry somehow.
Oh, really?
So that's why that's why she gets like all the Oscars and Grant. Like she swept like her first year at the Grammys, won all 4 general categories.
Oh wow!
And then won like, what'd you say?
That people do seem to love her. I mean, she's got like 1 million followers on.
Right. Yeah, I'm warming up to the music, but she's not that great, right? But yeah, but I agree. She definitely was not. She was one of the worst looking, and on E they were like, oh, they put her as one of the best dressed.
I'm telling you, there's something about that.
Yeah, the game's rigged.
Yeah,
Game's
it's rigged. Definitely.
But I'll say, okay, I don't really have a list, but I'll say the people that stood out to me as far as best dressed, Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay.
Vanessa Hudgens, Laura Harrier.
I don't even know who that is.
Actress. She was in the Black Klansman movie. She dates Klay Thompson. Fine as hell. But yeah, she was her dress is actually made by H&M, funny enough. But she was one of the best dressed. Right. Who else looked good? I mean, I guess Blake Lively, I guess, she had a little thing going on. I see, every time I think about Blake Lively, I can't help but think about her plantation wedding from like a decade ago.
Oh, yes. Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
Her off the list?
Yeah. Every time, like, damn, plantation wedding. Plantation, as she had a whole like little like lifestyle video, she tried to make it look like cute and like sexy. I'm like,
no,
ma'am, like, no. Nah. No. That's a no. But yeah, I mean, she looked good. She looked all right. Gabrielle Union, okay. That was good.
Gabrielle was popping. You tried to downplay her. Gabrielle.
No. She's good. No, she's good. No. You have me thinking about her. She looked good. Damn, something slipping my mind right now. Kerry Washington.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see Kerry. Okay, so Kerry brought it.
Yep. Gwen Stefani.
Mm-hmm. Gwen, yep. We're here for her.
And yep. Who would be my fifth? We could just I might just do 4 like you. But wait, let me push myself. Who looked really good the other day? I'll say old girl from Euphoria, Sydney Sweeney. Not bad.
I don't remember Sydney, so she could have been.
So I'm basically going with the theme, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Look at the bro. What's up, Daniel? Daniel, those your reels on Instagram, hilarious. Hilarious.
No, it's not about
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, okay, worst. I think Billie Eilish, worst for sure. Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh yeah, the whole Kardashian. I mean, they were all just.
Yeah, Kourtney, but she and Travis Scott came together. She had this thing that was like, like, what is this? So yeah, Kourtney Kardashian, and Billie Eilish, Kourtney Kardashian. No, I'm sure when they come up to me, I'll say more, but those two for sure were like, okay, you guys completely missed the mark and probably should go back home. So yeah, those are my two.
Can't forget.
Okay, yeah, Kylie for sure. Yeah, Kylie for sure. Do you know who also wore a baseball hat but didn't look so bad? Nikki.
Nikki. Yeah, I wasn't really fully understanding what she had going on, but it was still not terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, not at all. So actually, the whole time I was thinking it's the first time she and Cardi were in the same room since Fashion Week in 2018, where they almost got into a fight. Yeah. They have not. What'd you say?
How was that even possible?
I don't know. I guess everybody acted right, but yeah, like that's no drama from what I've heard. So
okay.
Yeah, like it.
Listen, Cardi is a mom now. They're both moms now.
Yeah, right. Both of them. Yeah. Actually, no, Cardi was a mom back then. Remember, she was trying to fight Nicki because of her kid.
Dang. I tried to give her something. Okay. Try to give her growth. Try to help the girl.
And let's talk about Dave Chappelle, who was performing at the Hollywood Bowl last night for his Netflix special, Dave Chappelle and Friends. And while he was closing his performance, someone ran from the audience and tackled him. And then Dave Chappelle looked like he defended himself, and then backstage, the kid got stomped the fuck out, like badly.
It was pretty bad.
Like no, badly. It was really bad. I mean, the picture of the kid is like, damn. Like I had to put like a picture of his actual face so people could see just the difference. Bad. Apparently, Jamie Foxx and Busta Rhymes, you know, got involved with the beatdown. I saw Stephen Hill from BET on. They were all part of the beatdown. Stephen Hill from BET was on stage. I don't know if he was a part of it, but he looked like his face looked like he had just been, you know, in the physical confrontation. So I think you know, everybody got involved. Everybody got a lick in, and it was really, it's really sad. So the kid is actually identified as 23-year-old Isaiah Lee, who is also an aspiring rapper, or I guess up-and-coming rapper, however you want to describe it. But he has music on Spotify, and his stage name is No Name Trapper. And
No. No idea.
But the funny part, well, not the funny part, I guess, he had a song called Dave Chappelle. So clearly there's maybe some kind of obsession there, but the song was put out 2 years ago. So it's just, and I listened to the song. It really isn't, it doesn't say much about Dave Chappelle, but yeah, it's trash, much like all of his music. But you know, I listened so you guys don't have to. And the scary part about this, though, is that he had a replica gun that had an ejectable blade. So really, he could have, I mean, he could really harm Dave Chappelle, like just beyond like tackling him. So yeah, thoughts, if any?
Okay, so I still don't understand how we arrived to the point where he rushed the stage. There was no backstory that we know of beyond the facts. Okay, so yeah,
he just ran up.
He just decided to go run up on him. I mean,
Right.
I guess you learned your lesson, dear.
Right.
You're not gonna do that shit again.
Right.
I think, you know, my guess too is that, you know, they wanted to make sure that a lesson was taught. I feel like it's interesting because I was just watching the video of somebody throwing a water bottle at what's the rapper's name?
Jack Harlow.
And so then they started showing examples of like other times fans have done that, and you know, when you see some rappers get into the, you know, crowd and they've actually fought them before. I think that is kind of a lesson. I think there's a statement that people are trying to make, which is, you know, celebrities or not, you guys need to respect our boundaries. And I feel like this has been like a consistent situation that we're seeing, where you rush the stage. I feel like everyone just put a hit in just so they knew if you try this shit again.
Right. I mean, I don't feel bad for the guy, but like when I saw how many people on him, I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the picture, and his arm was like the form. Like, what is going on?
It looks like a crab leg. I was like, damn.
I said, okay, y'all may have taken it a little too far. But at the same time, to your point, that's scary. Quite frankly, someone has, whether it's a fake gun or not, that's just scary. So you just, you know, have to respond accordingly. It's a Black event. I don't really know where he thought he was. But I think, you know, Black folks always looking for a good reason to stomp somebody out, you know. So that was his first mistake. And then I think, you know, I was telling my brother, I'm like, listen, security guards have one job. Okay, so they said they were going to do that job and they were going to do it well today, because, you know, he made it on the stage. So that was mistake number one. And I think they just needed to teach him a lesson. But God bless him. I'm going to praise his health. both
Uh-oh.
mental and physical.
He's been charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon and is being held on $30,000 bond. And actually, apparently, he's actually unhoused because the address that was associated with him apparently is for a shelter. So, not that he deserves any sympathy, but I think all those facts are like, aw, I guess, kind of, sort of. Yeah, Daniel said, pray for his arm.
It's definitely giving mental health, and to that end, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm not sure, like, I could be wrong, right? I don't know what would make someone get up there and do that, but hearing unhoused and, I don't know. It makes you wonder what led us to that point. But, I don't know. My own personal diagnoses as someone who has no authority to diagnose is that there might be something else at play uptown.
The funny part about the whole thing is that Chris Rock actually performed at that show.
Yeah.
He performed.
Right. Like, I saw him trying to throw in his little Will Smith joke.
Was that Will Smith?
I can't stand Chris. I'm like, Chris, please sit this one out.
I think he would have been remiss to not get that joke in. So he had to. He just had to. He had to. And it's unfortunate that Will has done this to himself, where he will always be the punchline when people run on stage. So that's really, unfortunate. Unfortunate.
And what are the odds that it was another comedian? It was too easy.
Too easy. He had to take it. Winners and losers. Nneka, since you are the guest, I will let you go first.
You know what? I've leaked the Supreme Court draft, but I'm going to have to go ahead and say that's a big time winner right now. I know that, the Republicans have made it their thing.
Agreed.
Trying to figure out who did it, and they're trying to, make that the new newsworthy part of this conversation. But shout out to that person.
Trying and failing, but yeah.
Right. Tried and failing, exactly. So yeah, that's a big winner for me. A loser, gosh, you know what? I have to take it back, and I know you hate when I do this because I always have to ask you for the person's name because I always forget it. But who was the girl who said she throws up gang signs for fun? I know it was like 2 weeks ago, but she's still like, who was the one with the red hair, the podcast? Ruby. Okay, see.
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. Okay, it's Ruby Rose. I know that's slightly outdated at this point, but it was extremely cringeworthy.
I'm not actually a gang member. I know that's kind of like a joke on the internet.
Affiliated.
I was, I guess, not
Affiliated.
I was around gang members, and I just like throwing the gang signs up because it's cute. I love the color red. I'm in no way a gang member, though.
Ruby, you know, to get your ass shot.
I know, so that's why I've chilled out.
Yeah,
That's my real name.
You know that's a blood term.
I know, yeah, but that's really my name. So I've loved the color red since I was a kid, like. And it's my real name is Ruby Rose. I have a last name, but my first name is Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose and the last name. Okay.
Yeah. So, but, and then I moved to Atlanta, and I started being around like Bloods.
So when you were intrigued by it,
Yes,
the culture.
it's
for
cool.
Sure. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool.
I know like what be going on isn't cool, but like the colorful clothing and the hand signs and just being cool with the music.
The culture.
That
And the
stuff,
unity.
yeah, like that stuff is cool.
In fact, let me just say, there's like a hit list of about 5 podcasters right now that are all losers to me. You please keep the authenticity of your podcast, because there are a lot of people embarrassing themselves right now with just very heinous opinions and unfounded thoughts on a number of different topics that are just driving me crazy. Ruby's going to get a big loser for me for today, though.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair.
But
all right. So my winner, I'm going to have to say, is Drake. So he was commenting on a basketball blog about Jay Morant and his dad, and how Team Morant gets criticized for being too supportive and too animated. And so and then he goes like, if my kid was like, in the NBA. Listen, I think he goes, if my kid was even a Rubik's Cube champ or whatever, I'd be doing the same. So someone responds with a random dig about, the ghostwriting allegations that Drake has, basically had attached to his name for years now. And Drake responds with, your wife's probably miserable. I'm going to follow her. Actually, he said he'd follow her and say she's miserable, and so I follow her to give some excitement. Drake follows his wife, and then she posts it, and then he responds to her post, I'm here for you, Ma. So the whole thing is just
Petty.
Petty and perfect. Perfectly petty. I love the whole thing. So we just have to give Drake the W this week because that was just too funny. Now the loser, I will say definitely Isaiah Lee. I've never seen just an enforced error at that scale. Like I don't know why you would do that. Like, why would you do that?
Why Isaiah? We need to get Isaiah on the podcast. Isaiah,
listen, no, honestly, like I really would like to ask what was going through his mind, and he's just gonna he's really and obviously does not have $30,000 to get out of jail, so that's another thing. So it's just it's all bad, bad.
Toxology report. So.
I need that too, honestly. Like, we need to know what was going on because it makes no sense. And I have to say, I have to do this. I mean, Will Smith, and I'm sure he's been like the loser for the last few episodes because we've been stuck on Slapgate around here. Will Smith, honestly, like this, the fact that you've made this a part of your legacy and that you will always be this punchline, I think is just a permanent L for you. So Will Smith is definitely my second loser. And Supreme Court justices for being just really cruel and for pulling this country back 50 years, literally, and just not doing right by women. So that's my final loser.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. There are a number of losers right now that are sitting in seats they don't deserve.
Facts.
You know what? It's like you made a great point earlier. I think some of us need to think about our own roles and whether or not, the decisions that some people have made not to vote and not to participate makes them a loser too. But that's a whole nother story.
Facts. Listen, let's pile them on.
We need to, I think, take some ownership and accountability as we think about the impacts of, again, social media politics. And quite frankly, I do think that like Trump was able to distract us for a very long time with all Twitter and with all of his antics. And to your point, he was, quietly and behind the scenes building a world and a system that would really benefit old white men, old white Republican males for decades to come, right?
Absolutely.
I think we were all paying attention to the wrong things, quite frankly. And I hope people are taking the time to educate themselves on the way this works and on the importance of being involved and being educated and having a voice outside of Instagram. So,
Facts.
Losers today lost this one.
Right.
So what's
All right, Nneka, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure. Before we leave, let the people know where they can find you and also Vanity. And also really just remind people what Vanity is. It's been a while since you've been here.
Sure, absolutely. So as Ronce just mentioned, April was Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So in the spirit of that, Vanity is an anti-sexual assault and domestic violence training organization. And we just focus on increasing education and knowledge around topics and issues relating to interpersonal violence, understanding that more educated we are, the more empowered we are to speak to these issues, we can really create a world in which we hopefully will see a reduction in the occurrence of both sexual and domestic violence. Vanity is spelled Vanede. On Instagram, it's vanity_US. You can also find me, Nneka Obiekwe. Nneka_Obiekwe_. I'm not going to spell it. Ron said
it's going to be put on the screen, all of it. So they'll get it.
Fantastic. Love here as always. And I'm always looking to kind of engage in these sorts of conversations around women's rights, around interpersonal violence. I'm happy to kind of share and offer insights to anyone who's looking for it.
Great. Thank you so much for all the really, really important work that you do. All right. So episode 59, No Hipsters Pod. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.